Hello, welcome to my channel. This is where we keep reality for real. My name is Gabriel, and today I have a guest. I consider this guest as the future of gospel music or contemporary gospel music. I don't want you to take my word for it. Just check the video.
Soon, soon, krong, krong, fayeng, krano, mu, nashingo, fofur, guyen, so. Iradishayente na teweyano womayeng osuru nyansa na wudi ojayeng yenashe sudi. Mami ahoɔden nyansane tumi ma wo dɔno nyɛ kɛse wɔ makomane madwe nyinaa mu.
So, welcome, my brother Samuel Bimpong.
Thank you.
As I was introducing you, I think that I see you as the future of gospel music, especially for Africa, Ghana. I actually saw you the first time I mean, I think I know you. I know you all this while, but you were very young. I mean, permit me to say that.
Yeah.
You were kind of very young, and so I personally, I'm very sharp with people. Yeah, so I was able to know there's I know this guy. But I mean, over the years, I've been in America for 10 years. I mean, it's been a long time. It's not that long, but it's been a long time. And so, when I saw you on Facebook, I was like, wow, this guy is made up for worship, and I congratulate you. You are doing very well.
Thank you.
Did you actually start music or worship? How did you discover this gift? Because I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people, and they tell me what really happened and how. And I guess you also have some stories. I mean, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something happened
Yeah.
for you to know that now I can do this thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on this show, and I really, really appreciate you inviting me here. And as you said, like it's not even just only me, but a lot of I see a lot of young ones as well also coming up, and they are also changing the dynamic or the face of worship or the music industry in terms of gospel. I see a few people like the Kwekutes, all those people in Ghana. They are really doing amazing. So we thank you for seeing that or noticing that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. As far as music is concerned with me, like I started as a kid. There was one girl in our church. She would always go, like the conventions and stuff. You write your name, you go and sing. So she would always go sing some of the old like gospel music, like "I will make her right," yeah, those old ones. And I think like I like that, so I think I was inspired by her. And then I just don't know how it came about, but one day I also wrote my name. I was like, I'll go and sing. And it's not as if, now that I think about it, it was not as if I knew a song that I was going to sing. I just said I was going to sing a song. So I went, they called my name, grabbed the mic. The first song that came out was Esther Smith's song, and then I think after that, that's when everyone was like surprised. They
Absolutely.
told my mom, you know, your son could sing. It's a beautiful voice. Da, da,
Hmm.
da, da. I was a kid, so I was like, but just that that really sparked something in me. It sparked something in me. I think
Okay.
after that, that's when I realized I had a gift for songs. So I started learning songs. I was a small kid, but I can learn a song in like a day, and I'll
Yeah.
sing the song. And I remember my sister would tell her friends about me in school. So we'll be in the bus going to school. She'll make me sing, like she'll mention the name of the song and I'll sing it. And then like
Absolutely.
all of them were so amazed, like just watching me sing and all of that. Yeah. So that's how singing started, like for me a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, but actually, it was here in America, right?
No,
Or
Ghana.
in Ghana?
Yeah, I think I
Wow.
was like 6, 7 years. Yeah.
Wow. So, when did you come to America?
2016.
2016.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Great, 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 great.
Yeah.
So you've been singing and
Yeah. So
all this while.
yeah. So I know from Ghana, I think I was in the rural areas, like the village. So I was only kind of exposed to the older musics, like the Mama Esther, Esther Smith, I'm a boy Hima, those kind of songs. Those were
Yeah.
the ones that I was kind of like exposed to. So
Mm.
I knew a lot of the local songs, and those were my favorites. I learned those, and I mean Ghana too. That time, uh, Westlife was some music group. Yeah, they were there.
Okay.
Yeah. So those were the other songs outside of the gospel stuff that we watched at home, and I learned a couple of songs and all of that. So I remember in school in JHS, they didn't even know like I could sing, but I think people didn't know that, and I wasn't very upfront with singing.
Hmm.
It's not something that I actually realized. Oh, this is a gift. I was just like doing it, and then like every convention, I'll just go and do it,
Hmm.
and that's it. So I think one day I was in JHS 2, and I think a girl was in the class. She's called Eunice. I was singing and she started harmonizing with me, and it was so beautiful. So
Yeah.
we sang at the church in school. Usually we have a service on Wednesdays in the morning. So we did that. Went to sing a song. I remember the song was Blessed Assurance, Jesus
Okay.
is mine. So it
Okay.
was nice. We did harmonized and all of that. And I think one time assembly, we were in assembly and the seniors were in class, the form threes were in class, and we were supposed to have assembly by ourselves. We usually have the form threes around, and they are the ones conducting the assembly usually.
Okay.
So there was no one there, and so it was just the form ones and twos. And then we always say, "Can someone give us the marching song? Can someone?" So
Hmm.
this is, "Can someone give us the marching song?"
Hmm.
And I just out of nowhere, I was just like, um, I sang a song, and after I finished, we could see the Form 3 class, and they all turned and looked at me, like they were like turned and
Wow.
they were like, everyone was like, wow.
Wow.
Everyone was like, wow. I was like, I was like, "Eesh." So yeah, the song was Master, speak thy servant, hear it. And they
Yeah.
had never heard a guy sing like that. So,
Yeah.
and then everyone was like, the teacher, everyone just
Everybody was
turned,
surprised.
surprised and looked in the window, and everyone was like, wow. So
Yeah.
yeah, so a lot of the funniest memories of my music life, and then even with that, I still didn't really think too much about it
Yeah.
until I actually went to high school. And high
Okay.
school is when I feel like high school is usually one of the places that people take a stand in God,
Okay.
either high school or you make the stand
Yes.
in the universities.
Yeah.
So in high school, that's when I was also singing. Everyone, wow, just playing like singing. It's just a fun thing we just do, sing in church, and
Hmm.
just we didn't think too much about it in terms of ministry. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, I remember I went to school one time, and so I transferred school. I went to Agri Memorial later. Like that was the school I transferred to,
Hmm.
and because I was from a tree background, I was learning all the local songs. I just didn't really get the English songs. Like people were just singing English songs, and I just be like, "Oh my god!" So I went to school, and I think one thing I really can do is when I get to a place where there's a place of worship, let's say, or something to do in the church,
Hmm.
like music
Hmm.
specifically, and I just decided to stay. I just can't. Like, I feel very uncomfortable doing that. So I went there the first week. I joined the choir, and I think they even thought I was in Form 1. So they were even treating me some way until they realized, oh, he's actually a senior. So it was
Oh, in
Agri Memorial.
oh, okay,
Agri
okay,
Memorial,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
So because I think I went in, I was a transfer student. So I went in with the Form 1s. So
Okay.
they thought I was a Form 1 student.
Okay.
So yeah. So
Oh, so you finished high school in Ghana, right?
I didn't.
You didn't,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I was
Okay.
about to finish, and then
Okay.
yeah. So school. So I remember I almost stopped the choir because they were not singing tree songs. They were just English, and I just couldn't keep up. But then one thing I also hate, or one thing that I think is a personality of mine, is to give up. I hate that because
Yes.
I hate the fact that someone will even say he didn't finish, or
You
he
didn't
couldn't do it. Or he
yeah.
could, like, I just, so I really wanted to leave, but because of my pride
Yes.
of having someone say that to my face, I was like,
Mhm.
you know what, let me just stay in there for a while.
Yeah.
And then I started actually opening up to the English songs and all of that. So
Okay.
even in school, they used to call me Mama Esther because they were like, oh, Mama Esther, they were like big fan of me because they were like, oh, you're really good with the local, like,
Yeah.
you know, really good with the locals. So, but I started learning English songs in school a little bit,
Yeah.
little by bit, like, you know,
Yeah.
bit by bits and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, and then I think that's when I started taking things serious. I was like, okay, like this goes deeper than just music, you know.
Yes.
This is something deeper. So then I had to take things serious. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's where I had that realization that, well, I have to take things serious. And
Yeah.
then also, yeah. But yeah. So then America also happened, and that's where everything spiraled. Like America, it was just,
All right. So
yeah.
you finally came to America. You actually said
That was-
2016 with your mom or your dad.
So I think I came here 2015, right? But
Yeah.
2015 to 2016 was an exchange program.
Okay.
You do for 1 year, you go back to Ghana.
Okay.
So like I went to a high school in Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, a whole Mississippi. I went to Mississippi for a whole year, came back, and I think even how I even came back was a miracle. But yeah, it's a whole story on its
Tell
own.
us. Tell us. We want to know.
So I went to high school in Mississippi, and I think I got it the first thing one of the professors or the lecturers told me, or the teachers told me, of all the places in America you could have went, why Mississippi? One of the poorest states. Why?
Yeah.
And I had paid. My dad paid $12,000 to get for me to get here. It was like an exchange program that you had to pay. This was the paid one. This wasn't the scholarship ones. It was the paid one.
Okay.
$12,000. And I remember in Ghana even trying to pay that amount. The team that was supposed to get us here, or like we're going through the whole process with, they didn't even want me to come because my dad is a farmer. How the heck is your dad going to get $12,000
Yeah.
to pay? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
In those times, the dollar was like a dollar to like 3 cedis, 80 pesos or 60 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost around 400 and like 400 something million, which is like 40,000 Ghana cedis in, you know,
Okay.
current money. So they were not like, and I didn't even know this until someone from the team told me later that, yeah, we almost didn't let you go because your dad was a farmer. But the funny thing is, amongst all of us who were coming, I was the first person to finish paying. The woman would call my
Wow.
dad, give him pressure. Papa, we are not joking you. You can pay the money. Da, da, da. I've heard that where you live, Corano, if a car, when it hits 6, no car goes there again.
Wow.
Just a whole bunch of like stuff. And I remember I didn't even know what an email was. I was living in the village. I think I knew what an email was, but I just didn't know the name. So the lady was like, do you know what an email is? I was like, no. And she insulted.
Wow.
She's like, hey.
The teacher?
Not the teacher, like the person in charge of the exchange program.
Okay.
She didn't insult me, but she's just a bit,
Like, I
she
mean,
was a bit
embarrassed
harsh.
you.
Yeah, hey, you don't know what an email is? And what are you going to do in America? Hey.
What?
Hey, Master, don't come and waste my time, oh. Come on. Do you have internet in your village? Come on, take a car, go to the nearest internet cafe and open an email.
Wow.
And then I was like, what? Oh, whoa, hold on. I was like, I realized, like, oh, I have an email. And I was like, this is what I was like, oh yeah, that's an email. Why didn't you say that? I was like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, she was just so
Is
harsh.
a Ghanaian?
Yes.
Oh God.
Extremely harsh. Extremely harsh. Like, she's a good woman, but she just her people skill or emotional intelligence is just not there.
Oh.
Yeah. So she'll call my dad and just yell at my dad and like the pressure. So my like I remember the first time
So, and where were you staying in Ghana?
Chufo Praso.
Chifu Pras. Oh wow.
Yeah. Kakum behind Kakum, yeah. Chufo Praso. Yeah.
My cousins actually came to stay. Actually came to stay in Chifu Pras.
Yeah.
All this while, that is where they Ateku.
Ateku, all those places.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were still in Ateku, and so they came to Chifu Pras was coming school
School
there,
there. Yeah.
and but they actually left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I remember the first time I told my dad, I was like, Dad, the money is 12,000. So at first that was the first time I ever started, like I got to know about like the dollar and stuff like that, because I
Wow.
was in high school and this lady just loved me from nowhere. She she saw the opportunity and told me and told my dad that, hey, I think your son can go through this, and she told my dad out. So I went to the house. Okay, one vacation I went to my dad's like, Dad, this is the opportunity. They said 12,000, and I was even converting it some way, so I thought it was like 120 million, like but it was like, so we did a whole bunch, and we realized that it was more. It was like almost 4 times that amount and all of that. So
Mhm.
I remember I told him, I was like, Dad, like, it's high. My dad looked at me, you're crazy. You don't have faith, eh? Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Follow me, follow me. He went to his bank, took all his money out. And that's what he used as his first payment. It was like 9,000 Ghana cedis. He took all of that money from his account, used that to make the first deposit. And then the lady was giving pressure, and my dad. And we finished paying, and then the lady had to apologize. She's like, Sam, I'm so sorry. I was so harsh on you guys. I had no idea you will be the
Wow.
first person to finish actually paying that amount.
Wow.
She said, like, all the other
Oh, so
ladies,
you
yeah,
actually came to America alone?
yeah, alone, yeah. So it's like they would usually pair you with a host family. So I was paired with a host guy. I stayed with him for a while, but he was a dean at the university, so he didn't have time for me, and he knows that through the exchange experience and stuff like that, he's supposed to have fun with the person you're hosting, so he couldn't fulfill those responsibilities, so he opted for me to change families. And I think I talked to one of my professors at school, the teachers at school, and she's no, she's a single mom, she doesn't mind hosting me, because I found another family there that, like, that lady didn't have much in terms of money, but she was just a good woman. She liked me so much, and I just didn't want to part ways with her. So I was like, okay. So I stayed with that lady while still having a relationship with, because we will stay in the same school.
Hmm.
So it's like I was staying with the other lady, but the one I was extremely close with was the other lady that didn't have much, but just had a big heart. So yeah, so came here for all of that, and then realized that, yeah, I realized that the school would not allow me to graduate, because in Ghana I was about to graduate and I came here, so I'm supposed to graduate like 12th grade, but I was the first of, yeah, like my kind in terms of international student. It's a whole black, like predominantly black school. They didn't really have any contact with any foreign people. I was the first foreign exchange student they had, so they had no clue on how to even evaluate my transcript
Hmm.
to use in their system. So I was literally going through the school, just they just giving me random classes and stuff, just to be, yeah. They said, you know what, I think he just has to just spend a year here, have fun, and go back. And I'm like, I'm from the village. I didn't come
Wow.
here to
Yeah.
have fun and go back to Ghana, because it
Absolutely.
means if I go back to Ghana, I would have to repeat a year, go
Mm-hmm.
back to school again, while my friends have graduated in the
Yeah.
university. So I was like, then what was the point of paying that whole $12,000? So I was just like, and the lady that I said had the big heart said, "Oh, Sam, there's something called GED." So I was like, I don't think I qualify. We looked at the qualifications. I think I qualified. I was about to turn like 18 and stuff like this. I was like, oh, perfect. I wrote the test. The test looks like Ghana Wasi stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because I had also written of deck before. So
Yeah.
I came, and when I did that, I was like, oh, so I passed. And then everyone thought I wouldn't graduate. So I didn't graduate with them school because they were like, they don't know how to do anything for me. So they really did me dirty, the school. I would say that because they didn't even try to even, go through that extra length to help me pass, like go through the system. So I was like, no worries. I did my GED, passed. People were graduating, and I was like, yeah, oh Sam, they were trying to be nice. Oh Sam, I was like myself, don't. But I finished, and I had applied to schools, and I even got accepted into schools without even me submitting any form of transcripts. And I was surprised. I thought it was a scam, and I showed it to the lady. She's like, no, Sam, you actually got admitted into this. I was like, wow. So I finished. I sent them my GED transcript and all of that. Everything was approved. I got an I-20, went back to Ghana. And I didn't tell my dad. My dad was so sad because he thought I was about to start school again in Ghana. I was like, oh, Dad, I actually got an I-20 to go back. The way he was so upset with me. He's like, hey, didn't tell me. Come on, hurry up. Tomorrow morning, grab your stuff, go to Accra. Let someone help you fill out your visa stuff. I was like,
Absolutely.
yeah. So I got up, went to Ghana, did all of that. So I returned. So I came here 2015, June, or August or something. Yeah. Went back to Ghana in June 2016. And then in August, I came back.
Okay.
So that's when the 2016 journey actually started,
Okay.
which was college. Yeah.
Wow.
So I almost had to go to Ghana and start school again. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I came back for college in 2016,
And it's been I think 9 years or 9 years or 10 years.
Yeah. From 2016, it's been like almost August coming is almost like 8 years. Yeah. No,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
You've gone through a lot. You see, sometimes that is why I don't really regard age. I don't regard age. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling the person that it doesn't matter how old you are. Young people go through a lot.
Yeah.
And so if you don't want to speak to them or you don't talk to them, you wouldn't know what they really go through. You may think that is you have to be old to go through a lot, but it's not true.
And even with that, I've left a whole big story out as well too. Yeah, it's if you don't mind me just sharing, like,
Yeah, tell me.
So I think when I went to school and my first, it's funny as I was like don't my family people don't want me to like they don't want me to graduate basically in high school because I spent like almost 5 years going to high school.
5 years.
5 years. So I went to high school in Ghana, the first high school, went almost about to graduate, and then I had to leave the school for some reason. So I left the school, went to a different school, tried to finish my last year. And then in the midst of that, that was one of the years that they canceled a lot of results. And my result was canceled. So my dad had given me money to register for NOVDEC. I knew I was going to pass. I didn't even register as many. I just registered for a few classes.
Absolutely.
And then come to find out the result was canceled.
Absolutely.
So even still doing the NOVDEC, I knew it wouldn't make sense because I didn't register for all the classes. I registered for a few classes. So then I was just like, man, all my friends started going to school. And then I was sitting home one day and a thought came into my mind. And I looked at my dad, I was like, hey, Dad. I was just like, my dad was sitting there, I was just standing at the gate, like just standing there. I was like, hey, Dad, I don't mind starting school again. If you only want to take me back to school, I don't mind. My dad told me that was the most sensible thing I've ever said to him. He's like, after he always says, like, after I said that, he realized, yes. Like he's like he said he loved me so much after I made that statement because for someone to finish a whole school, 3-year school, and then even give you the option of starting again. I was like, that I don't mind. I was like, I'm young, I don't look old, I don't mind starting school all over again because I really want to have a fresh start, And then I got the opportunity to transfer into Agri Memorial. So you see, I went to the first school, went to the second school, went to Agri Memorial, came here, and then they wouldn't let me graduate too. So I'm like, what what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
they don't want me to get out of high school or what? Yeah. So that whole journey of mine is a whole big story that one day when I get the opportunity on, I will share my own. I feel like it's a healing process for me
Yeah.
because that left a very big hole in my soul. Like literally, anytime I think of my experience in high school and stuff like that, I get like quote unquote, they'll say panic attack or something like that. Like anytime I think so much about school, I go cold. My body gets cold and I start
Yeah.
shaking because it's like, man, that moment just really, really, really did something to me. So that whole journey of me here, not even being able to go to like, I would just be so sad, and I couldn't cry. I don't know, I'll be so sad I couldn't cry, but I knew I was crying within. I knew
Yeah.
there was so much going with this. I had a lot that I had like bottled up. But yeah, so that's a whole story on its own. But I actually went through a lot there. And the funny thing is, most of my friends from my first high school,
Mm-hmm.
anytime they see me do stuff, they get so amazing. They will text me, man, we are so proud of you. We're so proud of you that you didn't give
Absolutely.
up. Man, you make us. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, I thought you didn't even like me. That's what I think. And it's like, and I remember my mom telling me, like a few years ago, she's like, I thank God so much you didn't even commit suicide with all that you were going through.
Wow.
Because my mom herself, she was like, she lost it when like I was going through so much, and she's just like, you're a kid, why are you going through so much?
Mm-hmm.
So and I knew, and my friends in school knew my background and knew all that was transpiring and all of that. So most of them that I talk to now are always in awe of how God is like moving in my life
Absolutely.
right now. They're like, man, and they will always remind me, Coach, do you remember you used to sing in school, you used to do that? And they
Yeah.
will be the one even telling me that they think it was what I was doing in school that has kept me this far. And sometimes I
Absolutely.
think about that, I don't even think that much into it like that. But it's funny how people from outside saw what I was doing in school, and they have like attributed that to what God is doing in my life now.
Mm.
That your faithfulness that you kept in school, going to church, doing all of this and all of that people were insulting you, doing all of that, you actually kept that, and that's what you're actually doing right now. So a lot of people are like, man, we're so proud of you. And I'm like, wow.
So one thing that as you tell your story,
Mhm.
I've realized that God God knows everything. And you see, the devil also knows kind of he knows
Yeah.
who you become. You see? And so he wanted to use everything to make sure that he will bring you down.
Mhm.
But God masters those things.
Mm.
God is a master of doing things like that.
Yeah.
You see? So honestly, I didn't know. I didn't know that you have a story like this. Because I was thinking that we would be talking about music and all that. But I think you have a love story behind your music. You see? Wow. So currently, as you are in America, no parent, no father, no mother.
Yeah. I'm here by myself. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Here by myself. Yeah. So
So which university did you go?
I went to Columbus State.
Columbus State. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Nice, 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 nice.
I went to Columbus.
Are you currently working?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Wow. My brother, you have a very what?
Yeah, but yeah, my American journey too had been great. Had been crazy, but like the evidence of God in it is
Mm-hmm.
is is so strong, and so such a powerful testimony as well. Came here, have never lacked in terms of like food and all of that, because God always like gives me favor before people, especially the women. Like they see me, they love me. Sam, refuse did like come home and eat and all of that. So it's like at every point in my life that I feel like I'm going downhill, God like brings someone in my life that is
Mm.
able to really support me in any kind of way. And yeah, I remember I came here. So I came back, went to Mississippi because I got a school there, and then had a friend who had school in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
Columbus State.
Mm-hmm.
So the friend told me to apply. So I applied. And that's a whole different story as well. So, but I applied to the school. So then I was like, I want to go to a place at least I know a Ghanaian because Mrs. B was not Ghanaian.
Mm-hmm.
And the school there was like expensive. So compared to Columbus, it was fairly cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat in the bus, moved all the way to Nashville. The guy met me in Nashville, took me to Columbus, told me, oh, we have a place to stay. Found out no place to stay. So I started sleeping in hotels just to like,
Wow.
yeah, for a week. And I was like, bro, I can't do this. I don't have money. Like, I don't have money to be sleeping in hotels. So I remember I slept in a car a whole day, like the night. It was
What?
winter too. It wasn't winter, but like it was in the fall, but it was very cold. So I remember so I was like, the guy had a place to stay, but the lady she was staying, the place he was renting, said, hey, I don't feel comfortable having two guys live in the house with me, and there was another girl. So we really couldn't stay there. So I was like, Charlie, I really can't do this. So, and he's like, oh, me too. I can also leave you here. So let's just sleep in the car. So we slept in the car. I think the next day I was like, bro, is there not like any Ghanaian place around here I could go solicit, for help and all of that? So I Googled African places around here and it led me to some of the African markets and stuff. So I went to one of them and I was like, hey, my name is that I just came back. I just came from Ghana. I don't have a place to stay. Can you help me? And there was a man who was about to leave to Ghana and was even looking for someone to rent the place too. But I didn't really have money in the first place to rent a place. So the lady talked to him and he's like, oh, don't worry, come and stay for a while. We'll figure something out. So I stayed with him for a while. Still didn't have any job because international student, you really can't even work.
Hmm.
And I thought, oh, when I come, I'll get a job on campus, and that was not the case. It's a scam. Like it takes a while for you to even get a job on campus when you're an undergrad. For masters, it's easy because you come with that graduate assistantship
Mm-hmm.
position, but for undergrad, it was not like that. So I had to it was a long journey, like not having money. And there was another guy who was like, oh, can you come and babysit my kids for me in the night? I'll give you XYZ amount. Let's say I'll give you $60. And I take care of the kid from like Monday to Friday or Thursday. Like it was like 4 or 5 days a week. And then it would take like 3 weeks for him to even make a payment.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I'm thinking out of the 3 weeks, he'll give me all the 3 weeks money. He would just give me like $90. And I'm like, these kids who are bad, like struggling in the night just to get them to sleep and all of that. But Ghanaians like take advantage of you, go like, yeah, and will not pay me, and so I had to. So I got up. I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I can't be wasting my time here, not sleeping, watching your kids and all of that, and then it takes a while for you to pay me, and when you're paying me too, you don't even pay me the full amount. So I think it got to a point. I was like, yeah, I don't think I can do that again. The man I was staying with did a really good job. He kept me, but I think I was moving around a lot because the other guy that I came here with, the one who was like, "Oh, come over, we have a school," like he liked traveling, and then he would always take me with him. So the man I was staying with told me, he's like, "Hey, your address is from my place. If something happens to you right now, he's like, he's not documented, so he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want no police knocking on his door and all of that."
Mm-hmm.
So he had a conversation with me. I was like, "Oh, I understand." My friend, instead of him just shutting up, he started going on. Well, the reason why we travel is all the people we travel to meet. They are all people, businessmen. They will be able to help us in the future. And I'm just like trying to signal him to keep quiet.
Hmm.
So this guy just went off. So I think it was after he was said that, the man in the house was like, "You know what? It's time for you to leave." And he kind of kicked me out basically.
Wow.
Kind of kicked me out basically. So I was like, he said this to me, and it was a funny way that he said it. It's like it was during the winter. He's like, "Yeah, Sam, like I don't hate you, da, 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 da. But if someone kicks you out during winter time, they want to kill you because it's like, where are you going? Like it's
Yeah.
cold." So winter time, He helped me find a lady. Went to the African market, and they usually have people who were looking for people to rent their places. Numbers there. We called one lady. She's like, "Oh, 350. Da 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 da." I went to live with her, and then it was a whole different story. The lady was nice. She was really nice to me. I was in her house like that, but I think it started getting toxic a little bit. Like, those people that like to cook. She will cook and the house is messy and I have to be the one cleaning everything. I was doing that for a while. Then I think one day, so I didn't even mind doing that. So I think one day I was in my room the whole day. I didn't even get down. The whole day, literally. And I go to work around 4. So we leave. I used to go to work with her son, some warehouse job. And I'll tell so I got down around like 2:33 for us to go. And she had left for work and she had cooked and the whole place was messy with all the bowls, dishes and stuff like that in the sink and all of that. And my time was up to go to work. So got down, went to work with his son. His son was in the house, the same house. So we went to work. I came back around 2, 3 a.m. That's when we closed. Came back, the kitchen was messed like that as well. I didn't even get up, go up into my room. Stayed in the kitchen, cleaned the whole kitchen, mopped the floor, cleaned the stove, did all of that. And I was even saying to myself, oh, today I've done what I think this lady will probably give me a
Be proud of
compliment to
you.
be proud of
Yeah.
me. So I was in my room the next day and all I heard was she insulting me. Next time I come back and I meet like the dishes in the sink, because she comes back from work before us, and she came back and the dishes were there. But when I came back, I cleaned it up. So I'm thinking the next day like there's really no problem here.
Mm-hmm.
She started like just insult. I heard her insulting me. I was like, is she okay? Like I just came back from work, cleaned this whole thing. I'm in the house with your son.
Mm-hmm.
Your son didn't do it. I cleaned the place up. So then I was like, you know what? Then I'm not even going to do it at all again because you'll not take me for a fool. I pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
You will not do this to me. I'm not your slave. Because trust me, anytime I closed from church and I was going back home, I would be sad because I know going to the house, the pile of dishes that I have to do. And I was like, I'm paying rent. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
I'm living here for free. You can't be treating me like your slave. So then I stopped. So I stopped eating your food. Stop doing it. Like I was like, I'm not eating your food. If you think I'm eating your food, that's why you want to use me as a slave. I'm not doing that. I'm not eating your food, so I'm not cleaning anything.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw that I wasn't doing anything. She got mad. She wouldn't even say hi to. I'll say hi to her. She would just look at me like this. Wouldn't say anything. Would literally say trash. Talk trash about me to her friends. Her friends will come into the house. They're talking. I get there, greets everyone. Everyone looks at me like, and I'm like, okay. I went into my room. It's just like
Wow.
that. And then this same friend that I came here to school with, one day, like, he'll go somewhere and he'll be like, he'll stop by my place. He's like, man, it's late. I can't go. Can I sleep at your room? Like, in your room, whatever. I was like, oh, yeah, sleep. And I think the lady didn't like that. So she didn't like that. So then one day she's like, Sam, after you finish paying your monthly rent, can you leave my place? I was like, sure. I didn't even argue. I was like, yes. Paid my rent, found a place to go. And a guy in church who's been so instrumental in my life, David, was like, oh, sure, but he had bought a new house. He was about to get married. So he told me, he's like, you can come, when my wife come, you can, by that time, you probably would have been okay to find a place. Literally made me stay with him for free for a year and a half. And just like,
Wow.
like, he's been such a brother to me. So, yeah, so I had to leave that lady's place. And the funny thing is, I met this lady recently and she couldn't even look at my face.
Wow.
She couldn't look. She couldn't look at my face. She could, and I greeted her. I was like, "How you doing?" She's like, "Oh, yeah." Yeah, she couldn't look at my face. Her face was just bowed down like this. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So how um is Pentecost your
hmm hmm
church in Ghana?
Yeah, I was born in Pentecost. My mom is like a
Okay.
old time like Dickness in Pentecost, so we're born in the church and all. Yeah, so been in the
Yeah.
church all my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you came, you just
Yeah.
have
So I
to.
came, I was like, I'm tired of Pentecost. I'm not going to Pentecost again. Let me look for some ICGC, because I was like, I'm just tired of the politics. I'm tired of all the crazy stuff that I know goes on in the church. So
Hmm.
I like, what, let me find a contemporary church that, I can learn some new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the old ways. And I think it was because of where I came from, because from the village, it was just a village type of church setting.
Yeah.
So I had even never been to a PIWC before,
Hmm.
never, or an English assembly, never. So I was not trying to go to Pentecost. So the funny thing is, I came here a month and 2 months, and the friend that I used to stay with, I was like, Charlie, can you take me to church? And he wouldn't. I didn't have a car. He had the car. And I was like, Charlie, can you take me? He took me to some one white church. I was like, bro, I can't. I don't think I like this.
Hmm.
Let's find a Ghanaian one. He's like, no. And I was like, well, I don't have to say, because he's the one who drives. So one day I started looking on online churches around, and I'll go and check if they have a YouTube to check out service, and I didn't like it. I even checked Pentecost. I checked their music quality. It's not bad. Like, the music quality is not bad. But I was like, yeah, I really don't want to go there. Let me see if I can find something else. So I remember I went to assemblies. I walked literally. So because I didn't have a car, when I
Hmm.
find the address, I just try to walk. So I'll walk like 30 minutes or whatever. I walk to the place. It's like, yeah, something. I went to assembly, sat. That's like, yeah, my soul is not happy here. I was like, yeah. So I went back. And then, so one day I was like, you know what? Today I'll go to church. So I got up the next Sunday, dressed up like I was going to church. Don't know where I'm going. Looked online, and I saw the church. I was like, let me go Church of Pentecost. So Facebook, Church of Pentecost. And I went on their timeline. Hey, my name is Samuel Bimpong. I'm a Church of Pentecost member. I'm in Columbus, and I'm looking for a place to worship. But here is my number. And just 5 minutes, someone called me. Because they don't even look on the page. But the guy said, for some reason, he was coming back from work, and he's like, oh, let me look on the page to see what's going on. And he saw that message. So he called me. "Oh, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the Central or the English?" So my mom's like, I'm tired of the Central. I'm tired of the tree assembly. Let me try the English.
Hmm.
So that's when he got someone to grab me. I went to church. The next week, I was on stage singing with them, because I was like, I want to join the choir. Joined, and that has been mine. And I remember some lady told me, she's like, she saw something I did when I came there. She's like, one day she saw me walking to rehearsal, and she asked me, who dropped you? And I was like, oh, I walked. Because I'll take the bus to like 17th Avenue and then walk all the way into Joyce Avenue. So it's like ghetto, like walking. And it was like winter, those kind of
At
season.
that time, you were not here.
So at that time I was living on Moss in
No, I
Cleveland.
mean the church.
Oh, it wasn't at
It
60. It
wasn't
it
here.
was on the other one,
The
like
other
yeah,
side.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was living on Morrison in Cleveland,
Yeah.
Fitzroy apartment,
Yeah.
those kind of Shanley Drive, those kind of places.
Hmm.
And so take the bus, because I used to take the bus to school, so I knew the route. So I'll take the bus and I'll stop at 17th and I'll walk all
Mm.
the way there. So, and it's just like, she saw that inspired her so much. And I didn't even think too much about it, because I'm like, I just want to get to rehearsals. And I hate inconveniencing people, calling people, can you pick me up? I don't like doing that.
Hmm.
When you see the need to, oh, let me pick you up, I like, that's cool. But I just didn't know how to ask people for help when I had to. So I walked and all of that, and it has been, yeah, and that was the best decision I ever made in the US,
Wow.
going to that church, because I found myself so much in that church
Yeah.
that I would not have found elsewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And you happen to meet the late Danny Toffee.
Yeah. And that guy, he, so he was like my best friend here.
Yeah. Okay.
He was my best friend. So, and, best friend in terms of like, and a lot of people knew, but people just, because, yeah. people knew like he was my like because the way we related was so funny. Like we had some of the best dynamics as friends. Like we'll fight each other in public and go home and be on the call and like for hours and just be talking and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And in those moments, I learned so much from him because I think one thing that I'm glad I did was I knew that guy was extremely talented and I acknowledged that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will always ask him questions. Why did we sing it this way? Why did we do this way? So and then he would teach me. He would teach me. He would teach me. He would teach me. And I didn't know it was for a purpose, you know. So I was just learning. I was just being inquisitive and just asking, why did we do this? He would teach me. I was like, it didn't make sense, but then I tried and all of that. So it was like I was learning.
Mm-hmm.
But with friends, like just chatting like friends. But
Yeah.
it was until when he passed and I realized, man, I learned so much from him.
Yeah.
So
Because I can see him in you.
yeah, people say
Yeah.
that.
I can see. I can. I mean, not every time, because you also have your own style.
Yeah.
You have a own style. You are very powerful. You are very talented. You are gifted. But I asked because I could see a little bit of
Yeah.
him in you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I even started realizing that, and I freaked out because, like, I'll go and watch some of our services back when he passed, and I'll do certain things that he did, and I didn't even think twice about it. And I was like, "Yo, this is him. Like, this is Danny
Yeah.
doing. Like, he does this. Like, the way he sings, a lot of his mannerisms on stage,
Yes.
and even sometimes they will take pictures, and my pose, like, it's like exactly." Like him, because
Absolutely.
we'll always be on the phone. I'll be laughing at him, and he's
Yeah.
like, "You, Sammy, I'll get you," and then we'll laugh about
Yeah.
it. But like, I think God bringing me here at that time was so strategic because the stuff I've learned from this guy. I was like, I always say that we always say that he impacted people, and I'm like, I am one of the testimony of that. Like,
Yeah.
I can attest to the fact that I learned so much from him, and I only got to know that after he passed.
Yeah.
You know, and that has really been a big portion of my ministry as well too.
Yeah.
And I think when he passed, that's when I realized like we really don't have time. If God really wants you to do something, you might as well just get on it and do it. We
Absolutely.
really don't have time. So his passing really opened my eyes and really gave me a different understanding. And that's one of the benefits I got from that sad departure.
Yeah. But I mean, me personally, I don't know. Most of your guys, your church, they might not know me. They don't really know me much. But I know most of the guys.
Guys.
Yeah, because as I was telling you, I am very fast. I don't know. God has given me that kind of gift. If I see you, and maybe I meet you once, it's start with
Yeah.
me. So you might not even know me, but I know you. If I don't really want to bother you, well, I'll just pass by. But I can really tell that I've seen you before. Yeah. So and because I love music so much. I know almost all the guys. Assemblies of God, all the guys.
Yeah.
I know them very well. Some of them, I go on their pages and I look at what they are doing, and what they are doing currently. Yeah, so that is how come. So I know Danny Toffee very well. A wave, not really personally.
Personally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean I've met him one on one a few times, but we've not. He's not been my friend. Yes, so. But I really know. So I can tell that the way you sing and everything, I can tell something a little bit.
Connected to that.
Yes, connected, and I congratulate you. You're doing very well. You're doing very well. What is the future? What is the plan?
Yeah. Plan is huge.
Yeah.
Today I was talking to the guy who did all my flyers for my events and stuff, and he was laughing at me. He's like, "You look like you have a lot of ideas," and I think one of the things that God maybe gifted me with was um, memory. Like I think I had like a photographic memory, like so, and I'm also able to kind of like and I think one thing that I'm learning of by the grace of God, uh, I'm getting to realize is that as long as I can imagine or envision it
Mm.
through the help of the Holy Spirit,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to manifest that. And I think some of the one lady on my team would tell me, it's like, looking at you and working with you through your music stuff, you really encourage me so much in my faith because we as long is she said, and I didn't even realize, she's like, I've realized that as long as you envision it, you stick with it and it happens.
Yeah.
And I paused for a minute. I was like, oh, because there will be things that I was like, I want to do this. Like by the time I'm done with it, I realized that, oh,
Mm-hmm.
shoot, we actually did it. Like,
Yeah.
and because I'm so caught up in the moment and just going through stuff, making sure
Mm.
I don't even realize the hand of God in it until
Absolutely.
someone tells me, "Sam, we did it," and I'm like, "Wow, for real, we actually like through the help of the Holy Spirit, we actually did that." So,
Mm-hmm.
and I say this because there's just been a lot of stuff going through my mind. Like, and I was talking to the guy when he was laughing. It's like, there's a lot going on in your mind. And he was
Mm.
laughing. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, sometimes I have to ask myself, am I getting ahead of myself? And he's like, no, bro, like, you're really not. Like, as far as God is giving you all these things,
Mm-hmm.
he has a timeline for that. So
Yeah.
just do your best and he'll align them,
Yeah.
at the right time and stuff like that. So right now, what the future looks is being able to really be a voice to the nations, and especially for my ministry. Maybe talk a little bit about that. It's called Volbrook Community,
Mm-hmm.
and I explained the event that Volbrook comes from two words. So vulnerability and brokenness. So the VUL stands for the vulnerability,
Mm-hmm.
and the broke is brokenness.
Okay.
I like, and I just didn't want to have the cliche type of ministry named Samuel Bimpong's ministry.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't, because I was like, it's not about me. I've really never really thought of myself as anything.
Yeah.
So in the first place, I'm like, I'm not even trying to even make up about me in the first place.
Absolutely.
So I was like, let's find something. So it's been like since 2021 that I've been finding, like, praying for this name.
Mm.
2021 I didn't get anything. 2022 I even forgot about it. 2023 same. So this year I was like, oh, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. It's like what is this? So then I was talking and I just find, so I was like, I just knew the vision or the mission of the ministry, which is a ministry that will be able to, like, the signature of that ministry is anywhere this ministry goes, there is an atmosphere where people feel the safety in being vulnerable before God
Mm.
and expressing their brokenness before God.
Mm.
So a place where people wouldn't even look at their age, wouldn't look at the skin of their color.
Mm.
That type of atmosphere where you're not restrained by anything. So I knew that was the vision and the mission of the ministry. So I was trying to find something about brokenness, about vulnerability, but I just couldn't find. I was like, beautifully broken ministry. I was like, no, it was just a hope. I was just tossing the years and praying. So one day I was talking to someone. I was like, vulnerability, brokenness. Then I was like, oh, VUL, Volbrook. It's not bad. And we
Mm-hmm.
laughed about it. Then I was like, Volbrook. I was like, man, this sounds like a name of a neighborhood, like a community or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we laughed about. So I called one of my friends, David, the one who made me stay at his place. And we're talking about, I was like, Charlie, I have a name. I was like, don't laugh. I know you laugh at me. I was like, Volbrook. And he laughed. He's like, oh, I said, this is not even bad though. It's not bad as I thought,
Mm-hmm.
So we just laughed it off. That's like, Charlie, but doesn't it sound like a name of a community? He's like, it actually does. So we're laughing, we talk. And then when we're about to end the call, he's like, hey, so your verbal community. And I said, hold on. It sounds so good when you said it.
Yes.
I was like, it sounds so good when you said it. I said, say it again. He's like, Volbrook. I was like, bro, I think this is the name.
Yes.
So I think this is the name. So, and like after we did that, we were like, for now that we don't have any time, I think this is a good one. Let's stick with that for now and let's see. But as time went on and we prayed, like my spirit could agree that it was a name that was ordained before I was even born. Like this name, it's what it's supposed to be called. Like this ministry is what the name that we have right now is actually the name that it's supposed to be called. Because now my spirit like attest to that fact that this is the right name. And now with a lot of revelations and stuff that has been coming after that, it really shows me that especially the community aspect is what really God want to foster, that community where a non-denominational type of group where there's no affiliation to anything, like that community. And where like, and I think the future for this is like it won't even just be in Columbus. You see other states and other places, like there'll be sparks in there, like where people actually coming together and having that sense of community, that sense of fellowship as well. So it's not, as I said initially, I didn't even want it to be about me in the first place. So I know moving forward, it's just going to be things that other people are going to get a hold of and just do that in like different states and cities as well. So that's it. So like moving forward, I want that ministry to get to that point where it's like the community aspect is highlighted so much. People, because I think one of the things that really made this ministry come about is I realized, as you said initially, a lot of young people are so gifted, going through so much, so talented, yet they don't have anyone to talk to. They can't even talk to their parents. They can't even talk to people about it. Because especially people who God have called. Because now we make purpose or working with God look one way. There's a facade that we've created, or a persona that if you're called by God, this is how you're supposed to look like. You can't have dreads. You can't even have this. You can, if you've done tattoo, then you put you're like there's a whole bunch of stuff. And these kids have all these, but these kids are having encounters that they can't even speak about. Some of them are so gifted, their spiritual giftings, because it's not the prophecy, it's not those kind of things in church. They are not wholly giving prophecies in church. They won't even speak about it. But these kids see things, they hear things, they're able to feel things. They have all these giftings that we are not aware of. But because we've not created that environment where people can be vulnerable and broken before God and be like, God, this is who I am. Do you still want me? For God to be like, let me take your hands, let's walk. This journey is not you. We've not created that environment or that atmosphere. So I think that was the burden that was on my heart. That's why that ministry came about, because I know these young kids are going through so much on their mind. They can't tell anyone, they can speak to anyone. They are gifted, anointed. Some of them are called to nations, called to bigger places. But they might never realize that because of how we've made Christianity look, or how someone who is called by God have to look. They might not look like it. So what are we telling them? They don't have a place in the kingdom of God? No. So just creating that atmosphere where people can come. They're changing the touching of lives, and it's up to God to do that. All we have to do, create the atmosphere, bring them together. And especially for my program, that's what happened. God gave me the vision, brought people together, and He did whatever He wanted to do. That had nothing to do with me. All I had to do was be the vessel to be obedient and put that event together. I was like, hey God, they are here, they are yours. Do what you've always wanted to do with them.
Absolutely. That is awesome. That is awesome. I have it's like a passion. And I've been speaking about for a very long time. I want to see Black people, Africans, Ghanaians actually, coming out in America, leading the ministry and the industry, actually, music industry. Because I think they can. Not for just Ghana or Africa, but for the world. People like Maverick City, this guy, is it Chandler Moore or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's just 27 years or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But he's one of the biggest worshippers in the
Mm-hmm.
world right now.
Yeah.
I know of Ofe
Ryan
Ofe
Affair.
Ryan Ofe, but I think we need more people.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that you have the talent.
Yeah. It's funny you brought that up. And
So for me,
mm-hmm.
I will advise that you should go for it. But I want to know from you,
Mm-hmm.
do you have some kind of dream
And
of going
good.
to um joining or collaborating with people like Maverick City,
Mm-hmm.
you know, doing big
Doing
things?
big things. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And it's funny you brought that up, and thank you for bringing that up. Because this year, I was telling someone, I was like, this year was the year that I was broke financially and like I didn't know what to do. But this year was the year God was giving me the go ahead to do a lot of things. I'm like, I don't even have a job like that to even. So the first thing he told me, do the program I just did. And I didn't have a job at that time. Immediately I started the process. He gave me a job. I was like, okay, cool.
Wow.
And then he told me to also put together a team, kind of like a Maverick City style. Because, as you said, I think it's selfish of us to know God so much and not show the side of God we know to the world.
Mm.
And as you said, if we are able to really lead some of these worship industries and stuff in the world, in the US and all of that, we get to really show people a missing side of God that they've not experienced yet. I remember one of my experience in the US, when I told you with the lady who had the big heart that loved me. Do you know why she loved me? Because we were we were going somewhere in a car, and I decided to share God with her. And she loved me from that moment. She told me, she said, Sam, I knew there was something missing in my Christian life. And all that we've been talking about has made me fulfill, like has filled me so much up that you have no idea what you've done for me. He's like, of all my like 40 something years that I've been, I knew there was something missing. And I realized that, well, it means that small side of God that I know, when I decided to share with someone, she felt so whole and complete by
Absolutely.
me not being selfish with that.
Absolutely.
So if we are able to, as I said, take charge of all this music, that Christianity or the music industry, gospel would have a different face where people's faith in God would take a turn based on how we experience God. Because now we are the leaders. I tell people, I was like, anytime they tell you to lead worship, that's the time you show the whole congregation, or you lead you take them by their hands, you and be like, follow me, let's enter my secret place. That's what we do as worship leaders. You however you feel in your secret place, or whenever you're communing with God secretly, when you're on stage doing that, you hold people's hands and you literally take them in there. So you're really showing them your experience as a worship person, like your intimacy with God. So if we're able to really build that intimacy with God to a certain level, and God puts us in these positions and stuff, our experience and how we encounter God will be the hallmark of revival in the country and in the world. Now, like I'm telling you, so if you have a good understanding or a deep understanding of the goodness of God, when you become a leader or when you become one of the leading gospel industry ministers in the world, now the concept of goodness in God changes, because now
Changes.
everyone who listens to your music connects with that same experience you have.
Absolutely.
So it's funny you brought it, because that was one of the things that God told me to put together. And with the Maverick City stuff, you said, someone gave me a prophecy last year that they see us really having a collaboration with Maverick City and all this, as you said. So it's something in the pipeline, but we're also putting things together where I know there are many talented Ghanaians or even
Yep.
Africans here, where we can put them together and then literally Columbus or Ohio by surprise, take US by surprise, and take the world by surprise as well by really showing them our secret place. And I think that's, yeah, so it's in the pipeline. And it's funny, this is a confirmation because I was literally thinking, I was like, God, wouldn't it be too, like, wouldn't people even think I'm doing too much? I just did a program
No.
and I'm now about to
No.
put a flyer out there looking for, because I've been thinking about putting out a flyer, getting people for auditions and stuff like that, where we get seasoned people, not just anyone, but people whose heart are going to be in that, and then put something together, and then that will be like a light that will spark in people, because I know people want to do that, but a lot of people are scared to even take the step.
Absolutely.
So when they see people really doing that, all they need is that push. They be like, hey, come over, and then I know people will find their calling, they find all that God has really commissioned them for in these kind of settings as well. And then we'll be able to really take the world by surprise. So that is definitely in the pipeline, and it's something, as you said, it is a confirmation, because I was like, am I overthinking? Am I just? But I just knew God had put it on my heart to really do that.
Yeah.
To really, and I'm like, will I even get the help? Will I not be seen as doing
You
too
will.
much? Because I remember when my brother Danny passed, and I was like, you know what? Let me do this. A lot of people were like, I'm trying to be like Danny. I'm trying to like a whole bunch of bad compliment. Now here that I'm like, like you don't know. I was like, we don't have time as you think we have. So it's just like sometimes those kind of thoughts really come like, am I getting ahead of myself? But I just also know what God has also kind of like put in my heart. Yeah. So that is definitely on the way.
Yeah. You are not doing too much. Just like you said, time passes very fast.
Mm-hmm.
Time passes very fast.
So fast. Yeah.
So whatever idea, you don't know how long it's going to be to really finish what you. Sometimes you may think that, okay, let me do this thing. I think maybe something very small. I'll do it within 1 year or 2 years. But before you realize, it may take you 5 years, 6 years, or it may even take you the whole life.
Wow. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So if you start early, that's the best thing to do. The moment you get it, one thing is that you learn whilst you do it. You can't know everything before you do it. You learn as you do, you learn. As you do, you learn. And I started this YouTube thing. It's funny the way I started. It's funny, you see, but now I can see that, because even when I put a video, nobody even watch. You see? But now, people are watching now. When I go to Facebook, I see the numbers and I'm like, wow. You see? So, time passes very fast. So, don't worry about anybody. Don't think about whatever anybody would want to say or anything. No. Just do whatever you want to do. And I'm telling you, you have a bright future. A future that I don't even know. I don't know. That you will not even know.
Yeah.
Now only God knows. You see? I think I came to America in 2015. I think 17, 18 or something like that, I got to know about Maverick City. I don't really watch them so much.
Yeah.
I saw their videos and I don't really watch them so much because it wasn't I mean, they have very good music and all those things, but I realized that they have a different style. From so I wasn't really watching them. But 2019, I got sick, and then I mean, even when I hear music, I don't even understand or whatever. But as things becoming better, I started listening. I kept seeing their videos. And I said, no, their music is nice. Whatever, it's fine. And 2020, 21, they became one of the best in the world.
Yeah, they really took the world by surprise.
You see, they became one of the best in the world. If you look at the old videos and you look at Naomi Rain, if you see her, if you look at her pictures, and you know, she's not. Look at her now.
Yeah.
You understand? So, just start. That's what I want to say. Whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it. And I'm telling you, God will glorify Himself through you. Can you tell us a little bit about your recent concert.
Event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the name?
Scent of water.
Scent of Water.
Yeah, help
Yeah,
is on
Scent
the
of
way.
Water.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So can you tell me about the Scent of Water?
Yeah. So
How?
how it came,
I
yeah.
mean, it's. I know that most of the other day I was speaking with another music minister.
Mhm.
I brought her on the podcast the last time, uh, and she was telling me how difficult it was to organize her concert,
Yeah.
and I can imagine. I can only imagine because I've never really organized a concert like
Yeah.
that. I can imagine currently in your because it was a beautiful concert. I was there. It was very very beautiful. The whole place was packed.
Yeah.
You see, it was packed. When I came in earlier, I came here a little bit
Mm.
earlier. But when I came in, the place was almost
Before, yeah.
full. You see, but it didn't come. It didn't just come by
Yeah.
itself. Somebody actually organized it, and then you actually brought this whole thing
Mm.
together. Um, can you tell us how you
Yeah.
you, you
So
organize it?
in 2022,
Mm-hmm.
so about to go to Ghana. So I was praying with one of the ministers, the guy that was giving the word, the guy before my pastor came.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're praying together, we're praying, because it's like this ministry thing, like, praying about it. And we're praying, and in the midst of prayer, he was on the phone. He was somewhere, so he was on the phone, we're praying. And then in the midst of prayers, I was telling you, I have this photographic memory. So like in my mind, I think I'm imagining something. So I'm imagining someone or a group of people asking, man, who can bring that feeling from Ghana when we used to go to programs and God invaded the place like that?
Mm.
And I think that was what I was like seeing, like, man, because it's like whenever we talk to people here about those kind of experiences, they don't even get it because
Mm-hmm.
we don't see much of that here because everything is being rushed, time, we gotta go. So
Mm-hmm.
we really don't get to experience
Mm-hmm.
God to that full extent. So that was what I was imagining or seeing whilst we were praying. And then all of a sudden I just saw people that I could tell they were like their souls, and in the thing that I was seeing, I could tell it was like souls of people
Mm-hmm.
really crying and thirsting for an atmosphere that will be so charged by God's
Mm-hmm.
presence to the point that all they just like, who will organize a program that God's presence will be so huge there that all we have to do is come and lay down our burdens.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I heard was, help is on the way.
Oh wow.
For that, like as an answer to help is on the way.
Wow.
So I wrote that down because I was like, oh, help is on the way. So I was like, oh, I think God wants me to do a program called Help is on the Way. So I was like, okay. But that was 2022. So I went to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when my brother, I know I keep referencing him because his departure sparked all of this.
Okay.
So then it had passed, and we're about to do his funeral and even going to Ghana. So I was going to go to Ghana during that, like a month or two. So I went to Ghana at that time. And then I went to Ghana, and the last place he went to minister, I went there. They were like, oh, you're from where Danny is. Can you come and minister?
Mm.
And it will be a sign of encouragement to all of us here that we're mourning for him as well.
Mm.
That you guys are strong up there. You guys are not broken. So I was like, oh, okay, sure. Or doc also, I went there, rehearsed, and then went to sing. And I called my friend David. I was like, David, I think something is different in me. I was like, I can't put my hands on it, but I feel like I'm a different person now.
Mm.
So then he's like, hey, you sure? And we laughed about it. I was like, yeah. Bro, I ministered then. I don't know if it's because I've really never ministered outside of Pentecost, like my Columbus, but this felt so different
Mm.
and felt like a calling. I was like, I don't know. I just, I was like, okay, cool. And so then I had my event in Ghana. I also did a small record. I didn't even plan. I went there and we put things together. And I was like, as long as I can envision it, I thought I was like, "Chale, me, yeah, if I do a program here, I think." So I told a friend we put some stuff together. I did a whole recording, got a lot of stuff going on. And then I called my friend again. I was like, "Bro, something is different for sure." And he's like, "What do you think?" I said, "Bro, I'm saying so differently." I was like, "I know how I sound vocally. I feel like it's like someone's voice has been taken and given to me." I was like, "This is not me." So I sent him some of the raw files, and he's like, "Yo, Sam, I couldn't believe this was you," because he knows me. And he's like, "Sam, this is you? Nah, there's something definitely different about you." So because he had also had a vision of me on an operating table, they were operating on my heart. So he even thought it was physical, like I'm probably going to get a heart problem. Da, da, da. So he prayed about it. And then he had a word of wisdom that no, I, there's something has changed in him. Like, and after I came back, it's funny. We hadn't told anyone about this, but everyone kept telling me, "Sam, you sound different. Sam, you sound different. You sing like Danny now. You sound so much like him. There's something different about you. Since you came back from Ghana, what happened to you?" And
Yeah.
people kept saying that, saying that. And I realized that myself, like, I said, "You, as if a whole different person." I knew myself and I knew this was not me.
Yeah.
I knew something had changed in me. So then this program I forgot about because I was like, God hadn't given me the green light yet. So this year was when God gave me the green light. And I was like, "God, this is the year I'm not even working. Last year I was working. You didn't even tell me to do it." And this was like, "God, I might not be able to." But I was like, "You know what? Let's do it." All that I can do is I can do it at my church. No cost involved and stuff like that. It'll be like a regular service. But so there's these two ladies, Anita and Rebecca. Anita is like the leader of the choir, and she just loves me so much. So I talked to her about it. She's like, she's down to help. So I talked to the other girl, Rebecca. She's very detail oriented. Like, she'll put you like right. She's the one that will be right. Like the secretary that we taking. So the more we talked about the event, the more the event started growing. So I was like, this was not what, like, this is getting bigger than what I thought.
Absolutely.
It started getting huge. Huge. Anita would send me like a slide, and the way she's arranged them in like power, oh, so nice. And I was like, "Hey, is this my?" I was like, "Is this the event?" It looks so beautiful, like the way they've kind of put everything, things to do,
Yeah.
things we need to. And like the more we talked, the more we planned it, the more it became so beautiful to see.
Absolutely.
And I just knew, man, this God really wants us to do this to him.
Yeah.
So I knew that the name was Help is on the way.
Yeah.
So I talked to her. I was like, "No, for events like this, you need to have an actual name. Help is on the way can be the theme for this year."
Yep.
So then I was like, what name? I don't want it to be like worship experience. Like I just hate cliche stuff, like things that it's the normal that you easily think of.
Yeah.
Oh, worship experience, something experience, and then I'll have like worship experience with Samuel Bimpong with the theme Help is on the way. I was like, so I was praying, and I needed the name to do the flyer to put out. And I was like, I don't have a name. And I think waiting on God had helped me so much because I wouldn't move until God gave me, especially, and that was the day the time I also had to get the Volbrook name. I wasn't getting them. I literally waited till last minute. So I was like it's almost a month to this program and I haven't really even put out a flyer. What am I going to do? Okay, you know what? I probably might forget the ministry name and just put the Helpers. I said, but I need the name for the program itself before Helpers on the way, which is the theme. So I was like on my bed one time listening to a sermon and praying. And I just felt the Holy Spirit so strong in the room. And then it took me to I had the preacher talking about Job's instance where it's talk about at the scent of water, and that was like clicked, and it was like, yes. So like I quickly opened it. I was like, yo, this just resonated with my spirit in a unique way. I don't know why, So I was like, at the scent of water, and I was like, yo, this also really, there's a correlation between that and the help is on the way, because at the scent of water is talking about the fact that the tree that is cut is waiting for the rain, to the point that just by the mere scent of the rain hasn't even come yet, or the water hasn't come yet, but just by the mere mention of water, or that's it, like that hope is there. So I was like, wow. So then the names, so I had at the scent of water, but I was like, at the scent of water is too long, and I was like, scent of water too, people might not even get the reference. But when you say at the scent of water, people can be like, oh, it's probably a verse in the Bible and all of that. So, but we did scent of water, help is on the way. So that came together beautifully. And then we did like the merch too. God gave me the idea to do the sweatshirt and stuff, which had the help is here, which is like an answered prayer, or the answer to the prayers of people. Is like, like, help is on the way. We've come to seek help. And our God is like, help is here. Like, you have the help now. So that's why we got the merch, the t-shirt and the sweatshirt. Yeah. So that's how the name and everything came about. But with the planning and stuff, it was crazy. Like, but I'm so glad that, God has given me so many people around me, especially those two people that were on the flyer together with the pastor. And I'm like, these are few of my friends. If I had decided to put all my friends that I know are gifted, we would not have finished the program. And that's when God reminded me that I've actually provided for you. Like, you have the provisions already. Like, you have the people to help you in this ministry. You're not alone. You're really not alone. I think we had a prayer, a 21-day prayer, two on the phone, where we meet from Tuesday to Friday, 10 p.m. on the phone to pray for an hour. And then I remember some of my friends, the guys, they came on the page and they were like, Sam, you are blessed though. And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, look at all the women on this line praying with you. And then it clicked, because I was like, in my mind, I'm looking elsewhere for help. I'm thinking, oh, some of my friends, the guys were supposed to be on, but they don't really care about me, like they don't care about my ministry like that. But then I had forgotten the help that I had, which were the ladies on there praying with me. Just because they were not the help I was looking or envisioning, I didn't even think of it like God was, And when the guys mentioned it, then I was like, yo, that is so true. All these women consistently come on here to pray with me. If these few ladies are the ones that I have in my life right now, I am content. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yes, that's something that just came into my mind, Friends, people that only few friends, only few friends or a few people that you are close to will always support what you are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that old, I'm not that young, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and you are my brother, so I will just so that you go ahead and do whatever you are doing. You want to do with confidence. Forget about your friends. The first person that you think or you always want
To get the approval or affirmation.
is friends. But I'm telling you, they are the people who will never support what you're doing. Only few. Some of them too, not because they don't like what you're doing or anything, but it's that sometimes they don't really care so much about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You are a musician. You are passionate about what you're doing. Sometimes they don't really care so much about music. You are a gospel musician, and you want friends to, but you see a friend bringing Shatawale music to Charlie, come and see Shatawale, and it's like, what? Instead of speaking about religious or Christian music, for you are talking about, yes, that's the kind of thing that you see. I've been doing YouTube for a while, the kind of things that I think about, the kind of things that I see what I want to become, what I wanted to do. I tried to talk to friends, and then, but I stopped immediately. I stopped thinking about them. I stopped talking about them. I stopped asking them help or
Yeah.
whatever, because I know that they don't really support it. They don't. They will not even watch. They don't even watch. But later on, they'll come. They will come. Sometimes all of them will come and see. Let me go and see what Gabby is doing. You see? So don't really
Yeah.
bother about them. Don't really, because there are so many people, thousands of people, millions of people who will support you. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just put yourself available. You'll see. You'll see. Yeah. So but I believe your church, Pentecost, has been very supportive.
Very, 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 very supportive. My presiding elder, my pastors, like the elders in church, and the like, they've been very supportive. And I think because I have a good relationship with almost everyone in church, like I was like, "Hey, Obaba, will you come and do that?" Was me, support. Like
Yeah.
they are there. Like, and the funny thing is, I always thought the older people, because I'm very close with the older people, like because I don't really mingle with my age group like that, because
Yeah.
most of them don't really like, their minds are not there. They just, so it's like I really mingle with the older folks a lot. I really mingle with the older folks. So even especially for my program, I thought it was just going to be all of them, like only them. But I saw most of them.
Young
But I saw
people.
a lot of young
Young
people.
people.
I was
Yeah.
surprised. I was like,
Yeah. When I got in, I was like, hey, am I not too
I
am
was
I not
like,
too old?
I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I had no clue, because I thought I was very close with the older folks, so they were
Yeah.
the ones. And I saw most of them like from the Central Church. They came, but I saw a lot of young ones, which I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
God really did the drawing of them. God brought them, and I was like, I knew
Yeah.
it was not about me. It's just something drew them. And as you
Yeah.
said, I think the people that will support you are people that you even have no clue of. You don't even know them, have a relationship with them, they're not your friends. You don't have any expectations of them. They're the ones that are dying for your ministry, really supporting you, and yeah, like yeah, especially what I saw last Sunday was amazing. Like the place, as you said, was full, that they had to open the overflow just from the beginning of the service. And I'm like, wow, God, like, because we moved it to Sunday, and I was so skeptical about it because there was a Saturday program, but there were a lot going on a Saturday, so we had to move it to Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
And God showed up
Yeah.
so mightily. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Your team was also good. Your musicians,
Yeah.
the instruments, the keyboardists, the um I saw your keyboardist, what's the name?
Jacob.
Yes. I know all these
Yeah.
guys. Yeah, I follow all of them very well.
Yeah.
They will not know me, but they will not know me. I think the only guy that may know me is the
Basically.
bassist guy. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know whether they know him, but I really follow all of them, because I am somebody. I'm interested in young people. I'm very interested in young people. I'm not old. Yeah, I'm not old, but I mean, I'm not young too. Um, but I'm very interested in young people, because sometimes the way where I come from, and what I wanted to do, you know, if I had a chance, would have been so much, But unfortunately, living in the village, how would you be able to to get young people who are more passionate about,
Yeah.
you know, it's difficult to get all of those things. So after I came to America, I realized that I was too old.
Old for that.
Yes, I was too old to even do this thing. So I really follow you guys, and how anytime that you are, unless that maybe I'm not free, but if I'm around, I'm free. I'll always, and I'll always also advocate for young people. Yes, and that is why I was even asking you if the church is supporting,
Yeah.
because I've also seen churches that they don't really respect young people, the young people. You see, they don't really respect the young people. Instrumentalists, all of they don't really respect them. They don't care. They don't care about them. You see. So I always say that some of these, some of our pastors, our presiding elders, and all those things, they should bring their mind on the young people, because the young people are the church. They are the future of the church.
Yeah.
You see, if you are an elderly person, and you don't really care so much about the young people, or your then it means that you don't want the future, what you are working for, you don't want it to exist when you are dead and gone. So thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
me.
I mean, if you have a final words, I mean, you can say.
Just want to also encourage anyone out there who maybe you felt looked down upon, feel like maybe you're not even good enough, not qualified to do the things God has called you. I want you to take a moment, search yourself, search within yourself, and ask God. He's always eager to answer us for prayers like that. God, please, like show me who you've actually called me to be. Mirror myself to me. I want to know who you've called me to be. And sometimes we don't even know the 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 kind of life, the lives that are at stake if we don't walk in our calling. Sometimes we don't know the seriousness of it, but when God shows you that, and He shows you the number of lives depending on you to make sure you are walking in the purpose of God, that in itself might scare you and might get you on your toes, because you realize it's not about you. I'm scared, I'm shy, I'm this, it's I. But when God really shows you a picture, and you realize that it's not even there's no I in that vision, in that purpose of God for your life, you realize that, man, people will go to hell, people will lose their lives ungodly if I don't stand in my purpose, if I don't walk in the callings of God, because our lives are connected. As I said, my brother Tafi lived this life, and his life has impacted me, and now I'm also going to impact, and everything is going to be accounted to him because he did. And that's why people will go to heaven and get crowns that they had no idea of, because it's like something they did influence someone so much that it set someone else on, also on their path or their purpose. So all these things are connected and stuff. So you're not a failure. You're not someone that anyone should look down upon. Even the Bible talks about someone in the Bible is like, do not despise your young age. Don't let people look down on you because you're young.
That's true.
And all of that. Yeah. So yeah. And another thing is, Volbrook Ministry is also here to stay, as someone said, is here to stay, and we're praying. We are also praying that however way you want to support, sharing the videos, because sometimes those things, a lot of us have encountered, let's say the Apostle Joshua Selman's, they are 30-second videos because someone shared it, and it has changed our lives so much. So you can share the video, you can do all of those things, and as well, and if you also want to help monitor too, it's there as well. But we need the support, because even if not for yourself, someone else is scrolling on the internet, they might see that, and that might change their life. I remember during the program, the guy who spoke before my pastor came said someone shared a 30 seconds video of what he did at the event, and someone texted, he's like, bro, where's the full video? Just this 30 seconds has changed my mind right now. Has really, really changed my life. Can I get the full video? And I'm like, you don't know what you think the smallest thing you're doing for God is doing in the kingdom of God. So share the videos, do all of that, share it with your loved ones, and I know God will be a blessing to them as well.
Great. Thank you, Brother. Thank you so much. So that is my brother Samuel Bimpong. Yeah. Thank you very much for honoring this podcast, and thank you so much for audience. Please like the the videos, subscribe to the channel, and then comment as well. Thank you very much. We'll see you another time. Bye.